Hello, BookTube. I'm Peg, the book prize addict, and I am anxious to get started today because there are so many great book prizes last week, next week, all summer really, and I'm having a great time reading them. So without further ado, I put all the links at the bottom so I won't go into great detail. I'm sure you'll be interested in them so you can link. Anyway, but here we go. The first prize I want to talk about was awarded last night. There's people walking by my house. Oh well, it is Saturday. What was I going to say? It was awarded last night, the Best Translated Book Award, alphabetized to say BTBA, and as I've often said, it is the International Booker of the United States. It's for translated literature. There's a few differences from the Booker International in that the author can be living or dead in this one, and luckily so, because the winner of it, announced last night, was a Croatian woman who died in 2018. The story is, the book is called EEG, her last of many excellently critically reviewed ones. Now, I'm going to ask a favor here, you all. I used to have an app or something that told me how to pronounce foreign names, and I can't even try by myself. Can somebody, if you have info on an app or a place I can go to learn how to pronounce names, please send it to me. I think Sean even has one that says it right there in front of you. Okay, so this one, first of all, there were 25 on the long list of this prize. And I made an attempt to read a lot of them. A lot of them were short and kind of, you might say, experimental. A lot of them were on script. So I made, as I said, I read a lot of them, but I did not read this one because I knew it would be a toughie to read. But I think I'm really pumped, really ready to read it now because it's just the kind of reading I'm looking for. A lot of atmosphere of place and time, and anyway, but last night in the presentation, the awarder said that this calls forth the ghosts of Europe's 20th century. There's a frenzy of observations and deeply researched facts. So I guess this is the whole, from this Croatian woman writer's viewpoint, the different wars, the different cultural changes. I think I'm going to like it because I'm willing to look up stuff. I'm becoming to like translated works a lot, and other works that cause you to look up the place, and it's just great to be able to look right on the map where it is. I already looked about Croatia. I knew nothing about Croatia, so I looked on that last night. I'm ready to start reading this now, so maybe I'll report on it soon. Okay, next we have the prize of the book I read that was on 2 prizes. Well, I didn't really quite read it. I'll tell you why. Okay, it's called The Parisien by Isabel Hamad. It's a debut and much talked about, much spoken about it. And I was so excited to read it because it was, as I said, what I'm getting into lately, other places, especially across the sea that's not the U.S., and their history and the people. And it advertised itself as a Ottoman Palestinian man in the early 1900s, before the World War I. Wealthy man, young man, goes to Paris to study to be a doctor, and it goes through the rest of his life and the political changes in the Middle East and his part in it, and the World War I's effect. It was really something I was looking forward to, ready to look up stuff, but you know, it just didn't read like the novel I wanted. I kept starting it and trying. The characters were just flat, and there wasn't a lot of local atmosphere that I wanted so badly. I didn't finish it, guys, so if anybody has, let me know. Oh, I have to say, it's on at least 2 prizes, and I think I've seen others. It was on the Desmond Elliott for Best Debut, or is, I don't think that's been announced yet. And it was on the Walter Scott Prize for Historical Fiction. That's at its short list now, down to 6, so it's still on it. I feel kind of guilty that it seemed like a book I would really like, but so anyway, let me know if you've read it or if you have any thoughts on it. Okay, next we have another debut from the Desmond Elliott Prize, and it's got 10 on it, and they are all good. I have all of them now, and I'm trying to read through them, but they're ones I've never heard of. Anyway, this one's called The Art of the Body by Alex Allexson. This is an excellent book about a young man artist with cerebral palsy and his caretaker, a young woman, and their interactions and growth through helping each other. And it was just a wonderful book. And I especially liked the way he was an artist, a kind of, I don't know, the kind that just goes crazy and makes kind of wild things, not just portraits or something. And he was in an artist show. It was so interesting the way he worked his disability into his art and the show and everything. And incidentally, Eric Carl Anderson, just yesterday, he did a thing on prizes, and he has announced there's going to be a new prize for novels that have some sort of person with disabilities in it coming up. I forgot what the name of it. It starts with BARB. So I'm looking forward to that because I think that opens up a lot of interesting thoughts and writing. Okay, so that was a good one. Okay, what are we doing now? Okay, last time I had said one of the things I'm really wanting to read these days is crime novels. And there's an 18-book list on what's called the Theakston's Old Peculiar Crime Novel of the Year. And it's usually the winners announced at the Harrogate Festival, which you people in England probably know all about. Of course, it's not being held this year, but it's got really top-notch crime fiction by a lot of well-known authors. And I like it because it has a lot of different ones from Scotland, England, Ireland, written in English, but not the U.S., which it's really nice to be able to read those. So I was just going to go through those, 3 of those that I've read. I've still got quite a few to read, and the announcement for the short list is June 5th, so I don't know if I'll get read, but I'm reading some good ones. This one, Blood and Sugar, actually takes place during the slaving days in London, and I learned a lot historically. I didn't realize the slave trade was so big, or part of it took place there in London, and it had quite a story around that. I think it will do better. It was actually on a historical novel list. I think I liked it better as a historical novel than I did as a mystery, but it was I learned a lot from it. It was good. I'm going to cough, but I don't have the virus. Excuse me. Okay, then 2 more that were on the mystery list. One is called The Long Call by Anne Cleeves, and she's a very well-known author in England, not so much in the U.S., but I've been able to get a lot of her books. And she's had 2 series, one called the Shetland series and one with a woman, Vera, is it? Stanhope, who there's a TV series about her. But this is a brand new start to a series and a brand new detective introducing Detective Matthew Venn. And it is excellent. I like it because it's at a real place in North Devon where she grew up, and I could look up on the map the different places he went to, the beach where the murder occurred. I'm really liking being able to, I guess you say, armchair travel to different places. And and it's also a very complex but great story. You can tell she's a very experienced writer. Okay, and the last one that I read was by Denise Mina, a Scottish writer. And she's, again, written many award-winning. This was called Conviction. Takes place in Scotland, and it opens up. I might have to redo this. Sorry. Maybe I need to learn how to cut out parts. Anyway, it starts at an old castle in northern Scotland that I was able to look up. That's been made into a fancy hotel. I was able to look it up and a lot of the places again. And I have to say, this one is, I had read this before, and it's an amazing story. I mean, so unusual. It actually starts out with a podcast that a woman hears, a true crime type story, and she learns some things from there that from her past, and that starts out the mystery, and it is just really unusual and really good. So that's it for today. I don't know, I probably won't make this over again. Just ignore the coffin, please. Thanks, and happy reading this week.